Have you ever experienced that moment when it dawns on you that you've become invisible to the one person who is meant to love you the most? That was indeed I. My name is Katie, and after 15 years of marriage, I believed I had everything perfectly mapped out. Yet, I must convey that no amount of preparation can brace you for the instant you come to the stark realization that your husband no longer truly sees you. It struck me profoundly on the day we celebrated our love. 15 years of shared moments, and yet Marco failed to recall. There were no flowers, no card, and not even a cheerful anniversary message, merely another day in his life. He arrived home late, scarcely glancing in my direction, and muttered a few words about a hectic day at the office before retreating upstairs. As I lingered in the dim light, gazing at the exquisite dinner I had prepared, the flickering candles casting soft shadows, I found myself pondering the moment I slipped into the realm of invisibility. In that instant I broke. I slipped on my coat, climbed into the car, and made my way to the nearest bar I could discover. To be truthful, I found myself without a plan. I simply had to escape the confines of my home, seeking refuge from the oppressive stillness that surrounded me. The bar exuded a warm ambience, softly illuminated, and was precisely what I craved. I had just ordered a drink, scarcely managing to take a sip when a man settled onto the stool beside me. "It was a rough night," he inquired, his voice enveloping her like a gentle embrace. I cast a fleeting look. He stood tall and striking, his dark hair framing a face that was both handsome and compelling, while his piercing blue eyes seemed to hold a world of secrets. The sort of man who creates an atmosphere where you believe you are the sole focus of his attention. "You might put it that way," I responded, attempting to maintain a nonchalant demeanor. "I'm Ethan," he said, extending his hand. "Katie." As we began to converse, time slipped away, and before I realized it, several hours had vanished into thin air. He possessed a charm and attentiveness that seemed almost alien to my experience. It had been years since Marco had regarded me in such a way. After what felt like an eternity, I finally sensed the warmth of recognition. At that moment, the dialogue took a turn. The atmosphere surrounding us thickened, pulsating with an electric intensity. He extended his hand, gently tucking a wayward strand of hair behind my ear. "You deserve to be seen," he murmured gently, "to receive acknowledgement." Something within me shattered its confines. Perhaps it was the wine, or perhaps it was the weight of the loneliness I had been bearing for far too long. I leaned in, and in an instant our lips connected, leaving no room for hesitation. It was more than merely a kiss. It was an intoxicating blend of fervor, desire, and liberation, intertwined seamlessly. As we exited the bar, a surge of vitality coursed through me, a sensation I hadn't experienced in years. As dawn broke, I found myself awakening in a hotel room. Ethan had departed, yet a note remained on the pillow, a silent testament to his absence. "Gratitude for an unforgettable evening." A smile crept across my face, a blend of guilt and exhilaration swirling within me. Yet that sensation was fleeting. The weight of reality descended upon me as I stepped through the door. Marco sat at the kitchen table, cradling his coffee, embodying a sense of normalcy as if the world around him remained untouched. "Morning," he muttered, his gaze fixed firmly on the pages of his newspaper. A primal urge to scream surged within me, to hurl the coffee mug against the wall, to reveal it all to him. Yet I refrained. I assumed the role of the ideal spouse, as I had always done. Later that day, Marco revealed that a new business partner would be joining his firm. "Ethan Park," he remarked. "Today we shall convene with him. I believe you'll find him quite likable. He's an intelligent fellow with a delightful sense of humor." A chill coursed through my veins. Ethan, my dear Ethan, could it be mere chance? Was he aware of my identity? Questions swirled through my mind at a dizzying pace. That evening, Marco extended an invitation to Ethan for dinner. As the doorbell chimed, a surge of adrenaline coursed through me, causing my heart to race within its confines. I swung the door open, and there he stood, adorned with that familiar, captivating smile. "Katie," he said, his gaze firmly capturing mine. "It's a pleasure to encounter you once more." Marco ambled over, utterly oblivious. "Are you two acquainted?" Ethan's smile held a shadow, a hint of something more sinister lurking beneath the surface. Our paths crossed for a fleeting moment. The atmosphere at dinner was charged with tension. Food sat untouched before me, my thoughts whirling in a chaotic dance. Once dessert had been savored, Ethan inquired if he might have a moment alone with me. Marco, ever unaware, nodded and departed, leaving us in solitude within the living room. "What brings you to this place?" I let out a sharp hiss, striving to maintain a steady tone. Ethan moved in, his demeanor shifting to one of shadowy intensity. "That night, I recognized you without a doubt, Katie." My stomach plummeted. "What is this?" "For years, I have been acquainted with Marco. He betrayed me in a business arrangement, leaving me with nothing. Thus I thought, why not see something from him? A matter of significance to him." I gazed at him, utterly bewildered. "Did you take advantage of me?" His expression softened, if only slightly. "It began in that manner. Yet as time passed, I came to understand you, and I came to understand that you are more than merely Marco's wife. You are truly remarkable." My eyes burned with unshed tears. "This is simply unbelievable." "I'm sorry," he said, and for a fleeting moment, I believed he truly meant it. "Yet, you are worthy of so much more than him. Love is something you truly deserve." For days, the events lingered in my mind, refusing to be forgotten. I steered clear of Ethan, striving to maintain a facade of normalcy in Marco's presence. Yet, the world felt anything but ordinary. It was impossible for them to be. Once more, Ethan appeared at my doorstep under the cloak of night. "I can't stop thinking about you," he murmured, closing the distance between them. This may have begun on a flawed note, yet it need not conclude in the same manner. I felt the urge to distance myself from him, to instruct him to depart. Instead, I chose to step aside, granting him entry. In all honesty, a part of me resented him for his actions, yet a different part of me could not ignore the emotions he stirred within me. Our clandestine romance unfolded in whispers, as we sought refuge in the shadows, cherishing each fleeting encounter that fate allowed us. It was chaotic and intricate, yet it possessed an authenticity that my marriage never seemed to capture. Then one fateful night, all that had been built came tumbling down. Marco discovered the truth. Upon my return, I discovered him enveloped in shadows, clutching a photograph of Ethan and me. "How long?" he inquired, his voice echoing with emptiness. I did not tell a falsehood. "A handful of months." He let out a bitter laugh. "It seems I was destined for this outcome." Silence reigned, devoid of any outcry or theatrical clash, only quietude. In that profound silence, it dawned on me that our marriage had met its end long before Ethan entered my world. Ultimately, Marco and I parted ways through divorce. He maintained the home while I embarked on a new beginning. What about Ethan? We endeavored to salvage what we had. Yet the stark reality is that our bond was founded on deception and retribution. It was destined to end. In retrospect, I hold no regrets about the events that unfolded. It imparted a vital lesson. At times, one must lose themselves to truly discover their authentic self. If this narrative resonated with you, if you've ever experienced the sensation of being unseen in your own existence, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing. Life encompasses far more than the facade we present to others. And believe me, the twists, they linger just out of sight, waiting patiently around the bend.